celebrating 13 years of possibility. Pilot Flying J and Halloran Hilton Hill present Anything is Possible. Today's guest, Mark Deathridge.
Welcome to another edition of Anything is Possible. I'm Halloran Hilton Hill. These are great stories about great people whose lives prove that anything is possible. And what does the word possible mean? It means that something is able to be. And I think that force drives the universe. We've got to have people in the world who look out into the future and they say, we could do that, I could do that. And I hope on a weekly basis you see that possibility not only in our guest, but you see it in yourself. And it is my pleasure to welcome a friend and a brother, Mark Deathridge, who is the president and CEO of East Tennessee Mechanical Contractors. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much.
We've talked about this before. You're
Right.
president and CEO of a great company, but you didn't particularly see this coming your way as you're making your way through school. You're born and raised in Knoxville.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about growing up in Knoxville.
Okay. Well, I was born in Harriman, Tennessee. So
That's
which
even
is
better.
West Knoxville. But I grew up in Knoxville. Went to school here, elementary school, junior high school, and high school here. So these streets were very familiar in Park City.
Which schools did you attend?
I attended elementary school. Attended Mountain View High School, which is in the same location where Mount Calvary is right now.
Right.
I went to Vine Junior High School, and I went to Austin East High School.
Did you play sports?
I ran track.
That's a level above sports. I hear what you're
no,
saying.
but no, really, I ran track in junior high school in my first year in high school. After my first year in high school, I was able to get a job, as a matter of fact, working on a youth opportunity program at TVA. And since me or my family were not well born into this society with silver spoons, then I just decided I would work instead of continuing sports. Yeah.
So you weren't born rich.
No.
Tell me about your mom and dad.
My mom was a seamstress and a tailor. Had an entrepreneur spirit. Had several jobs working as a seamstress and a tailor, but she opened up her own business. She made dresses, she made suits, curtains, anything anybody wanted, she did that. And she had an office on the corner of Danridge and Brooks Road there. It was a big deal because anytime a fashion show came to town or an entertainer came to town, then there were quite a few women that would come to my mom to get these custom-made dresses that she enjoyed making for them. My dad worked in Oak Ridge. Started out as a laborer and ended up being a truck driver. So we came from a very, very meek and humble background. I mean,
so you see this hardworking man going to work every day, getting after it, but then you see this entrepreneur in your mother, and you had that stuff in you.
Yes.
Right? Is that what made you want to go into business for yourself? Because it seems like once you got the internship at TVA and you started making some money, you must have said to yourself, I want to go forward in life, and here's my chance.
Well, it seemed like everything just happened in circumstances. My brother and I, or my three brothers, I have two other brothers who started the business. One brother was an electrician, and the other brother was a sheet metal worker. Just so happened at my job at TVA, I was a designer, and I designed ductwork and mechanical systems. So hence, we became mechanical contractors. I had one brother that would wire all the units up, and the other brother would build the ductwork, and I would do all the design work and write all the contracts and stuff up and get the job done. So, and it worked out well. It worked out well for many, many years. So our first start was basically installing heat and air conditioning systems into residential housing.
Did you see it becoming what it has become today?
Had no idea.
Really?
None. I think as far as our business model took a turn because we really wanted to have a huge sheet metal shop where we just built tanks and vessels and large duct work and that type of thing. But we had to have a mechanism to get there. So working in the heat and air conditioning business was our means and methods for getting there. When we started working in the heat and air conditioning business, we found out that as we started to grow, especially in the commercial phases of the business, some of the general contractors weren't taking our bids or were shopping our bids. And so we started moving more into general construction and facilities maintenance and management work.
So that you could do the work that you wanted to do,
right.
You had to become a general contractor.
Right.
Yeah.
So we could control a little bit more of our destiny of what was going on with that. And we chose to go the federal route. So we chose to expand into the federal government and into that particular area. So we kind of cut our teeth in the Oak Ridge area, working at the plants at Y12, K25, and X10.
Wow. Let's take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching Anything is Possible.
Possibility powered by Pilot Flying J, Covenant Health, Home Federal, and the Knoxville News Sentinel. Coming up.
I don't consider myself to be a genius or really that smart of a guy, but I've surrounded myself with a lot of good people, a lot of loyal people, people that know the business, that understand the business.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. My possibility superstar today is Mark Deathridge. He is the CEO, president of East Tennessee Mechanical Contractors. And we left off in your story where you were talking about you were putting in air conditioning units, but you guys wanted to move up and do bigger work, and you had to become general contractors, and you cut your teeth out in Oak Ridge at the plants. Talk about making that leap.
That was definitely a leap of faith. Because the paperwork and the rules and regulations are a lot different when you're working from the federal government than you're working on a commercial sites. But it was something that we wanted to do that we weren't afraid of. And so we took that challenge for several different reasons. For one, the opportunities were better for small businesses and minority businesses with the federal government. And for two, the competition wasn't near as stiff because businesses my size were not geared toward doing federal work, and especially with all the paperwork and stuff that was involved.
So you just embraced the challenge.
Exactly.
Do you remember your first big contract in Oak Ridge?
Well, big is relative, but I remembered I had an argument with a guy who was the director of construction one time, and this was after I'd been up for 2 days and had my first child, and my wife had her first child. And I was trying to get a job that was going to be a lot larger than what we were capable of doing, and he was trying to talk me down, and I was trying to talk him up and getting the job. And lo and behold, we didn't get that job, but we did get a smaller job, which is about $42,000 project. $42,000 project for us was amazing. It was great, and we did the project. It was our first government project. And I think we lost $2,000 on the project because we just didn't know all the ins and outs. We didn't know the people, and relationships are really big when it comes to any type of business, and as far as the business arena that you're working in.
So you lost $2,000 on your first one.
Yeah.
Right. So now your brother was your partner in this. Was your brother the one who started all of this?
My brother started the business about a year and a half before I came into the business, and he was in business with another guy, and he also worked in Oak Ridge, and he worked at X10. And there was a position that came up, and it's just strange how things happen. There was a position that came up for a foreman. My brother was up for foreman, and this other guy was up for foreman. So the other guy said, well, if you want to go on and continue the business, I'll just walk away from the business if you will let me go on and move into this foreman position. And my brother said, okay. So he walked away from the foreman position, and we started the business on the next day off of a paycheck.
Wow. Now, is that the brother that passed away?
Yes, it is.
What was that loss like for you?
Very devastating, because the brother that passed away, he was not only my business partner, he was my brother, and he was my best friend. And continuing on in the business was very difficult, not only for me, but it was also difficult for a lot of our employees that were working with us at the time. And so it took some time to get to know the guys, because my brother handled all the field operations, and I basically handled all the office and paperwork and stuff like that. So it took a little time to get to know the guys, but it was something that I guess I was destined to do. So I was able to pull everything together and keep the business going.
Wow. So now the business has grown to what? From losing $2,000 to what? Because you just did a major project out in Oak Ridge. You built a bridge.
Right.
Tell me about that. And how big a project was that?
That project ended up being right at about approximately about $2 million worth of work.
This bridge had to be, this is not just a bridge. It had to be able to withstand just about anything.
Well, that bridge, from the design and from the construction and from the management that was over the bridge, we did that work for Avisco, and their contract was with the Corps of Engineers, and their contract was with DOE, with CNS oversight, as well as Jacobs and CH2M Hill. We had a lot of oversight on that bridge. So that bridge, if anything happens in Oak Ridge, go under the bridge.
Right. It's going to be safe.
It's going to be safe.
So you've built this multi-million-dollar company.
Right.
From losing $2,000 on your first bid and from putting in air conditioning units. How'd you get there? Is it really just the essence of your parents put in you a drive and a work ethic, and you just do one job at a time, and if you do that well, it kind of sets the platform to the next, and you manage those relationships, and you take pride in getting things done?
To be honest with you, I think it's by grace.
Really?
No, because I don't consider myself to be a genius or really that smart of a guy, but I've surrounded myself with a lot of good people, a lot of loyal people, people that know the business, that understand the business. I have other business associates who own other businesses who believe in me and I believe in them, and we've been able to work together to get some of these things done. From East Tennessee Mechanical Contractors, I have two other businesses. I have Southeastern Constructors in Nashville, Tennessee, and I also have a company in Nashville, Tennessee called Harmony Construction Group. And those are spin-offs from East Tennessee Mechanical Contractors. So just being able to move into different directions and opportunities that have opened up have allowed us to be able to continue our growth pattern.
That is absolutely amazing, and you credit grace.
I'm not that smart, man. I credit grace. I credit grace. There have been a lot of angels.
Tell me about your family, your wife, your kids. One thing that I've noticed about you, Mark, is this. You have a forward momentum to your life. Two things. One is the forward momentum to your life. And the second thing that I've noticed is how much you care about your community. I mean, you have a deep passion for where you come from. So let's just talk about that forward momentum, because your wife is on the school board, yes, and she's a businesswoman in her own right, and you've got two incredible kids. Tell me about your family.
Okay. My wife's retired from TVA. She's decided she was going to run for school board, and she's on the school board. She's in her second term at this particular time. But she's really amazing as far as how she cares about the community, how she cares about her schools. My wife did not go to school here, but if you want to get into a good conversation, one that I'm going to walk away from, say something bad about the schools, especially Austin East or any of the schools in her district. I'm going to walk away, and you have to handle that on your own.
You have to handle it yourself. Tell me about your children.
My daughter lives in Atlanta. She works for a medical placement company where they place the people in the medical industry. She's really, really doing good, and she got her degree from Hampton University, which she's very, very proud of, and so am I. And she got her master's degree from Georgia State. My son, by the way, and on the other hand, he took a different turn. He decided that my son has always been relatively an artist since he was young. I mean, drawings and that type of stuff. Very mechanically inclined, and he ended up going to SCAD, which is Savannah College of Art and Design.
Atlanta.
Right. Well, he went to the one in Savannah.
Okay, the one in Savannah.
Yes, yeah. Yes. So he does class detection for one of the larger construction companies. I think they're number 8 in the world, and he's doing really well. Lives in Nashville, Tennessee. Saw him yesterday, as a matter of fact, and now that gives us a little bit more to talk about, because he's in the same industry that I'm in. And believe me, I had very little influence in pushing him in that direction. That's just something that he decided he wanted to do.
Wow, that's a great story in and of itself.
Yeah.
Mark Deathridge is my guest. You're watching Anything is Possible. Back in a moment.
Coming up.
You know, the worst thing to do is look in the mirror in the morning or anytime you look in the mirror and say to yourself, you know, what I could have been.
This week, our Home Federal Community Spotlight is on Junior Achievement of Tennessee. Did you know that last year, JA served more than 17,000 students in the classroom, after school, and at BizTown? To learn more, visit jaeasttennessee.org.
Welcome back to Anything is Possible. I'm Halloran Hill. Mark Deathridge is the CEO and president of East Tennessee Mechanical Contractors, but you mentioned two other firms that you have.
Yes.
I'm trying to see how this kid from East Knoxville gets here, right? And you said it was grace.
Yeah, grace.
And the thing that I've noticed getting to know you a lot better, I call you a friend, I call you brother as well, is that you really are grateful for what God has done in your life.
I am. I really am.
He's blessed you abundantly.
Yes.
What does your dad think about your success?
You know, my dad when my dad retired from Oak Ridge, we just hung out a lot more. You know, I guess it's almost a situation where you don't really get to know your parents until after you're grown. And after you're grown and you hang out with your parents, it's different than it is when you're a kid. My dad, he loves all of his kids. He loves the success that the business has brought. He enjoys, you know, every minute of it. It's very interesting because we get these tickets for, you know, UT or tickets for Titan games, and it's interesting hearing him talking to his friends, because when he talks to his friends, they're his tickets. You know, I'm on my way down here with Mark, and we're going to go down here and watch the Titans play, and so he's just full of it, man. He really enjoys it, and my mother was very proud of us also.
Your mother passed away?
Yes, she passed away.
When
in
did you lose your mom?
97.
Wow.
I lost my mother in 97. I lost my oldest brother and my sister in 94. So I lost two siblings in 94.
Have you processed all of that? How did that affect you?
You know, I'm a firm believer in that everything that happens to you in life, whether it's good or bad, prepares you for the next challenge. And so...
well, then how did that prepare you?
Well, I think losing my brother, who was, because I lost my brother first, I think it prepared me for some of the struggles and some of the things that I was going to have to deal with going on in life, such as losing my sister, who was always the life of the party all the time. Oh yeah, and
what was her name?
Cheryl Diane.
Yeah. And
my mother, who was the matriarch of the family, because anything that happened, I could always call my mom. Even when my mom was very, very ill and was not very responded, anytime I went to her room or talked to her about business, she would clear right up and start talking to me directly about business.
Really?
Yes, every time.
What's the best piece of advice she ever gave you?
I don't know if we have enough time on your show to do that, because she talked about a lot of things. She talked about, you know, mama may have, papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own.
What did she mean by that?
Well, what she meant by that is that regardless to any success that one person has or that your mother or father has, you have to make that bed to lie in it, and you have to struggle to get to where you want to be. She had a lot of different sayings that really stick with me, and have stuck with me.
I love sayings like this. Give me a couple of her sayings.
She would say stuff like, if I was having a really hard day one day, and I was really upset, and I was arguing because some of the people I was working with were not doing exactly what I needed them to do. So I was having a really bad day.
Right.
And she walked in my office and she said, Mark, why are you so upset? And I said, well, because I can't get John or David or whoever it was to do it, to get this thing done. She said, you know something? She said, you should consider yourself blessed. And when she said that, of course, that took me a different place.
Right.
And I said, consider myself blessed. I said, well, Mama, how do you figure that? She said, you should consider yourself blessed because you have more to work with than some people do.
Wow.
And I mean, I never, that was something that I never would have thought about, went completely past me, because I'm always looking at the challenge and trying to figure out the challenge instead of saying, well, you know, sometimes you put people on this pedestal sometimes, and sometimes they just don't have it.
Right.
But that's still the person that you have to work with, because the next person may have less than they have. You know,
and what you just said, I heard something else in what you just said. You have more to work with than some people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what else I heard in that? Is that you can enjoy the frustration of telling people what to do or getting things done. I don't mean telling people what to do. And there's some people who never know the power of being in business for themselves or getting anything done. They're stuck in a grind that they can't get out of.
Right.
And you have more than somebody else. That is a big deal. When you talk to young people, when you go back and talk to young people, and you're big on that, you got a big heart for your community. That's one of the things I love and respect about you. What do you tell the next generation coming on?
I'm no different than you. I sat in the same chair that you did. So the opportunity is there. You just have to push it. You know, the worst thing to do is look in the mirror in the morning, or anytime you look in the mirror, and say to yourself, you know, what I could have been. Never say to yourself what you could have been. Every day that you get up, you should try to be better than you were the day before. You don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing, what your brother's doing, what your father's doing, what your friend's doing. Make sure that you're better than you were. Be a better person to yourself. So, and as long as you can continue that in that direction every day, then you'll be successful.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Mark Deathridge, thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time on Anything is Possible.